G'day my gorgeous groovy gardening guardians of the earth. Today is the last day of this moon cycle, so while the moon is still waning, I'd like to clean up my sun garden before tomorrow, which is the new moon, a new moon in Capricorn, which is an earth sign, a great day for planting out new seedlings. So before my friend Nancy comes around tomorrow on the new moon to help me out with some other odd jobs, I'd like to get this all cleaned up so it's clear and ready for planting. Nancy has a very magical YouTube channel which I highly recommend, called The Rambling Rose, where she shares her down-to-earth lifestyle tips, arts, crafts, and of course her magical garden. Nancy will be bringing her camera along with her tomorrow, filming our garden adventures. So if you'd like to see what we got up to during the new moon in the garden, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, these giant sunflowers you see before you are just the first stage of this sun garden. I'll be using the long living stalks of the sunflowers as support for climbing beans. In fact, the first bean has already sprouted. This is a hyacinth bean. It takes longer to establish, so I've planted it a month before the other climbing beans. I'll be removing some of the lush green leaves of the sunflower plants to clear the way for the beans to climb up. This will allow more sunlight to pass through the garden for the bean plants and also for the other plants growing underneath in this sunbed. These big, green, juicy sunflower leaves are full of nutrients and nitrogen, so I'll be breaking them down into water to make a natural green fertilizer. When making green fertilizer, only use leafy green matter. Don't use flowers or fruit. And don't use any leaves with a high essential oil content like most herbs and plants and trees like eucalyptus and pine. You can usually smell the essential oil in the plant when you crush the leaf. And nothing toxic like wisteria or tobacco leaf. You can always double check online if the leaves of the plant you intend to use break down into a safe fertilizer. Your common garden weeds are the safest bet, along with any green leaf waste from your vegetable plants. These sunflower leaves will break down just fine on their own, submerged in the water, but you can use a starter to speed up the process, such as manure from an animal that eats plants, such as a chicken, a horse, or a cow, because in their gut are the right enzymes to digest and break down plant matter. But today I'm using comfrey. Comfrey's famous for speeding up the composting, breaking down process, and is also full of potassium, which is great for flowering and fruiting plants. make sure the green leafy matter is completely submerged in the water, I collected this water from our local spring, and you can let this concoction brew for 3 to 6 weeks depending on how warm the weather is. The summer heat has kicked in here in Victoria, Australia, so this will break down into a green, stinky liquid very fast. As this concoction breaks down, it'll really start to smell, and you'll know it's ready when all that plant matter has basically liquefied. You can really pack a lot in there, and it will just turn to liquid slime fertilizer. Instead of staking each individual sunflower plant, I've chosen instead to stake around them with big sticks and then circling those sticks with string to help hold them up. This is because I've noticed when sunflowers are growing en masse in a field, they don't need individual stakes to hold themselves up. They gently lean on each other, absorbing the shock of the wind that blows through them. So I thought if I circled them with string, that would recreate the natural support they get from each other when growing in the wild. I'm thinking some green fertilizer could be a great gift to give Nancy tomorrow to say thank you for helping me in the garden. And it's the summer solstice, midsummer, the season of giving, so why not? And I know she's got a big garden where she's growing a lot of her own food, so the fertilizer will definitely come in handy. This is some I prepared about a month ago. It's about 4 weeks old. It's almost completely broken down. It smells really bad and all the flies are lingering around, so I'll quickly bottle some up for her. I'll take what's left of the green fertilizer, water it down and pour it on my own garden. I generally water green fertilizer down 10 to 1 part green fertilizer to 10 parts water. But then again, the amount of green fertilizer you add to the water will vary depending on what plants you're feeding it to. Green fertilizer not only feeds the plants, but feeds the soil as well, really bringing the earth to life. Because I have a fireplace to stay warm through the winter, I burn through a lot of wood, leaving me with an abundance of potash. I only use fallen trees from the forest. These trees have tapped deep earth minerals with their large root systems that they use to comprise their bodies. If you were to buy wood ash through a garden store, it would be labeled as potash. Pot being short for potassium because it is full of potassium. Because I've only burnt this natural wood in my fireplace, this wood ash is safe for a natural edible garden like mine and like Nancy's, so I'm bottling Nancy up some wood ash as a gift to add with the green fertilizer. Wood ash is on the other end of the spectrum compared to green fertilizer. Wood ash is full of minerals, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and whatever minerals the trees have absorbed in their lifetime. Minerals help plants flower and fruit and to stand strong. Also improves the flavor and nutritional value of the food grown with wood ash. So the green fertilizer and the wood ash together will combine to make a perfect gift, like yin and yang, two opposite ingredients that combine into a whole fertilizer. essentially made from household and garden waste. This yellow calcite is just radiating with solar energy, so I think this will really complement the alchemy going on in this sun garden. At this point in the cycle, on the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, when the sun is at full strength, has traditionally been a time to honor the sun and to enjoy all the good things that the summer months bring us. For thousands of years, people have celebrated midsummer by praising the sun, feasting together with food freshly prepared from the garden. Our ancestors like to make a game of jumping over a fire, which sounds really fun, but there's a fire ban here at the moment and I don't want to start a bushfire, so I'll just light some incense on a rock instead. Well, that's all my work in the sun garden finished for the day, and I'm excited for Nancy to see the sunflowers tomorrow. Nancy actually inspired me to create the sun garden after watching her episode on creating a goddess garden. And even though we're wrapping up this episode of Gardening New Earth, you can follow this thumbnail to Nancy's channel, The Rambling Rose, to see what we get up to tomorrow on the new moon. Or you'll find the link in the description below. And a big thanks to Phoenix Rising for sharing the beautiful music with us. And remember to support the free content you enjoy by liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching, everybody. And remember to have fun out there. May you be blessed and highly favored this summer solstice.